Dr. Jazz.
Hey guys,
Dr.
Samo here.
Jazz.
Thanks for checking out the channel and its contents. And if you feel like it, please do subscribe. Thanks so much. Enjoy the video. Bye. How are things? All good?
They're good.
I saw
They're
you're
good.
still active, man. I saw your gigs coming up with Tony, also with the with the Levin
Yep.
brothers, right?
It's shorter. We toured in May. Uh, and it was a good tour. We did almost 4 weeks. It was real. I mean,
Whoa,
in a row, just a few nights off. It was great. Uh,
amazing.
things have changed a lot here. It's harder to put stuff together. It's just the
In
whole vibe.
Europe's the same, yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
that I want to talk about it, but it's people aren't going out. Venues are being very careful. Uh, so we're doing I've been joking, it's a 3-city world tour. Like
Yeah, I hear you. I hear.
finishing up 15 minutes from where we live. So, but it's it's a good thing. We're glad to be doing it, and uh,
It's amazing.
it has to fit all our schedules, which is not easy, but it's something Tony enjoy doing, and
Yeah, you've been doing it for a really long time, right? Together, like,
uh, 11 years. We
wow,
started in
amazing.
2014.
Okay.
Uh, as that story, uh, as it is, Tony and I have been New York-based uh, sidemen, for
Sure.
decades, for a long time. And, we uh, play for a lot of other people. Sometimes we end up working for the same person at the same
Sure.
time. And Tony's played on my albums, I've played on his albums, but we never did a project of our own right from scratch, a band. Uh, it was about 2014. Tony came to me and said, let's do a jazz group. Like the stuff we were listening to in the 50s. I'm like, which was he was calling it smooth jazz, cool jazz. It wasn't cool jazz.
No,
Yeah, so we put together this band that it works. Sometimes we make money. Sometimes it costs us money. It doesn't matter. We're having a good time. So
that's a nice record, that one. So with that Basics tune and Brothers and Misteriosa. I mean, like, it's a beautiful
yep.
record, that one. I really like it. How come you guys decided actually to do that? Since you never did, like, after such a long time of being sidemen, like, what was the main idea for
Uh,
Tony? I mean, how come he said, like, okay,
just that we did do one thing in the 70s. It was a joke. Uh, I don't know if you run into this. I don't know if I should keep saying this in public.
oh please, I don't know.
No, there was a bit. Uh, we were both Spike Jones fans when we were kids. Uh, Crazy music, uh, and we decided, let's record something like that, and we did. And Spike's his technique, his procedure was to take a popular song, uh, well, something that was currently very popular, and just make it absurd with a polka beat behind it,
Yeah,
uh, and gunshots, sound effects, weird lyrics, weird vocals, and we did that. We did that with the Carpenters' "Close to You,"
mm.
which was a huge hit
Yeah,
song.
yeah, it's a nice song too.
Probably at that point in the 70s, it was the most requested song at weddings, and we creamed it. Uh, you haven't heard this. I'll send it to you.
Oh please, I haven't heard
I'll
it,
send
no.
it to you. The band was called the Clams, and it was basically it was Tony and I and Steve Gadd
Oh
is playing.
man, oh
No, he
geez.
didn't play drums. He wanted to do something different, so he was playing with brushes on a Manhattan phone book. I don't know why. Maybe he wanted to do something crazy too. But and I sang, and I never sing at all. Nobody ever lets me sing. I'm not a very good singer, but I sang on that. It was a hit record for just a couple of weeks.
Oh man.
It was pretty. was pretty crazy. I'll have to send this to you. But
Oh,
it's
I don't know that one. No, I have to check. I have to find it out. I mean,
well, it's yeah, it's a while ago, and we're actually getting airplay on top 40 stations all over the country for about 2 weeks. It
wow.
was it was insane. And it was a joke. We did it as a joke. Uh, and
Mm.
anyway, that was our first band, the Clams. Uh,
So
uh,
that's
uh,
fantastic.
but but more seriously, I was a French horn player in high school and then through college, uh, and when I was in high school, I was listening to jazz recordings of Oscar Pettiford's
Mm.
jazz groups, uh, which featured French horn player Julius
Julius
Watkins.
Watkins, of course, yeah, one of the masters.
Wonderful,
Oh man,
wonderful.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
he at at the time nobody was doing what Julius was doing on a horn.
yeah,
So he brought the French horn into jazz pretty much
absolutely.
uh, as a solo instrument, at least, because some people were writing for it. Uh, and I used to listen to those recordings at home. Uh, and I would try to play like Julius. I couldn't, but I tried. Uh, Meanwhile, my kid brother, here's this noise going on. He didn't care about the French horn player. He heard the bass player. He was drawn to Oscar Pettiford's
Ah,
playing,
okay. Wow.
and he even to this day, we like way later. Uh, he credits uh, being inspired to play the bass by listening to Oscar Pettiford.
Wow.
Listening
Interesting.
to my records uh, back in the 50s, a long time ago. So when he came to me in 2014 and said, let's do some of that. Some of that again. It wasn't cool jazz. It was somewhere in between
Yeah, yeah,
beat and cool.
yeah.
It's okay. So we wrote original songs. I decided we got to play live, so we wore suits and ties. We got into the genre, got matching pork pie hats, uh, and we released the record, which I think did okay. It didn't make any money, but we didn't expect to. So it's okay. Uh, and we kept it up. Our agent at the time was pretty good at finding gigs and crazy clubs. We very few jazz clubs, a lot of eclectic clubs. Uh, a lot of people, guys holding a beer and going, "Yeah, dude," uh, trying to figure out what we were doing. It's okay. We did our thing, and it was well received. After a while, we stopped with the suits and ties because it was hard traveling with them. You can't stuff them into a suitcase, and you need a lot of dress shirts if you're going to be out for 2 weeks. So uh, and we started cycling in some newer music or my jazz arrangements of pop songs,
Yeah.
uh, just different or classical songs somehow, and we've kept it going. And with some rotating personnel. It's a local drummer, good drummer, Jeff Siegel,
Mm.
was a good friend of ours, and he's been with the band from the beginning. But uh, wonderful sax player Eric Lawrence was with us for a couple of years, traveled with us. He's on the recording. Uh, we had a couple of guitar players, Jeff Champa and David Spinoza, which was
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
He couldn't, he didn't have time to keep touring. I think he just didn't want to be hauling guitar amps into bars anymore. I said, it's all right. Uh, and, More recently, Pat LaBarbera joined us, and that's
Oh,
been
really? Oh man, I love Pat. Yeah,
absolutely great.
yeah.
And I did the tour in May. Uh,
Wow.
we're lined up to do a tour next month, and Pat has had some health problems. I think he's a lot better now, but he had pneumonia, which
Oh
is
shit.
you got to be really careful when you get up to where us old guys are. So he said he didn't want to travel for a little while. So Ken Joffrey is a wonderful sax player that
Hmm.
I've worked with for years, is joining us in November.
Fantastic.
Ken has been featured with Smokey Robinson for years, and he's touring with Nile Rodgers now and
Oh wow.
doing
Okay. Beautiful.
making some serious money. We can't afford to pay him what Nile pays him,
Oh yeah, sure.
but when he's home, he's a great jazz player.
Wow. I have to check him out. I don't know him.
So,
Okay.
yeah. uh, Ken Joffrey
Cool.
is the guy. Uh, so that's pretty much the history of the Levin brothers. You know, we've been all over. We played all over the world. We made it to Japan. We haven't done Europe.
Europe, yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you.
It,
Yeah,
I don't know why it was just difficult to fit in, and it also often would coincide with tours that Tony
yeah,
was doing.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah,
and obviously the tours that Tony does, they take priority. Peter Gabriel wants to
of
do
course.
some
Yeah,
gigs. It takes priority. Uh, and the summer is the best time for Europe for jazz because you can anchor with some festivals.
yeah.
We were just never able to schedule it, but we did South America a couple of times. We did
Really?
make it
Wow, amazing.
to Japan, which was a wonderful experience. I wish we could go back, but there's just not enough money. So,
Yeah. Are you guys still planning to release an album in the future? Or I mean, have
uh,
you recording something new or?
uh, we're not. I have a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of new music that we're doing live.
Okay.
Uh, the thing is, uh, it really comes. There's the logistics and the realities of being in the music business.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, for us to spend thousands of dollars doing a studio album, uh, the only way we're going to sell CDs is to go out on the road for 4 or 5 weeks,
Yeah.
and we can't do that. But uh, uh, mostly Tony's touring schedule made it difficult, and now it's just the economics or the vibe or just all what's going on
Making an
is
album. Yeah.
really
Yeah.
difficult now.
Yeah.
I said in May we did 3.5 weeks. I've forgotten exactly, but uh, we played great jazz clubs. We sold out everything. Some places there was a waiting list to
Wow.
get in.
Okay.
People who couldn't standing room. Uh, and this is just a few months later, uh, a lot of crap coming out of Washington, and I'm not going to go into that, but
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
it's just everything has changed, and
Yeah. It's a,
the best we could pull off was 3 days. So,
wow.
which, we'll do them. We're happy to do
Oh,
them,
of course. Sure.
I believe all three places are already sold out, which is we're happy to hear that. But I wish there were 10 more
Yeah.
strong up to it. But that's the reality
Yeah. Yeah.
of touring. Like,
Yeah. Already after
keep the
COVID, it's
band
gotten really
so,
weird, right?
as I was saying, it makes no sense for us to spend thousands of dollars
Yeah.
recording a CD, manufacturing it. They'll end up in our basement.
I know what you mean. My wife always complains, like, I have like 2,000 CDs in the basement. Like, well, come on, sell them, dude. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm trying.
right.
Like, it's
So of
like,
course
it's
the
not.
joke is a million. Yeah, I got a million seller CD in the
Yeah,
basement. Million CDs I can't sell.
I guess
Uh, that's okay. We,
that's the reality. Yeah,
it's the same for everybody. I don't know. We do it. It's what we love to do,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and I'm glad I can still do it. So
Yeah, amazing. Man. Yeah. You mentioned Julius before, and I wanted to ask you, like, you grew up in basically in the times when, I mean, all of the greats were still alive. From basically Coltrane, Parker, Bill Evans, like Miles. How was that experience like for you, being a teenager and hearing all the jazz? Or I mean, what did impress you
it
the
was
most? I mean,
a teenager, not quite so much. I had to get out of high school to figure things out, but I went to college in Boston for a little while, and got attracted to the jazz scene in Boston. Boston's a good music town. It
absolutely.
always has. Uh, and I didn't think I'd had in my studies. I didn't feel I'd had enough music. I wanted to see New York, check it out, uh, and I went to New York in 1965
Already,
and
wow. Okay.
enrolled at Juilliard. I studied there for a couple of years. I got a couple of degrees, which don't mean anything. They don't. They're no use, but I learned that it was a great experience. And I remember when I first got to New York, that's it. I got settled in my apartment with two other roommates. And I said, all right, I got to go out and hear some music. And uh, oh, let me. I caught Coltrane You're
Yeah.
you're playing down in the village somewhere with, and Eric Dolphy was sitting in, uh, and I don't know might have been Elvin Jones playing drums. It was really loud. I couldn't believe, a drummer, my God, he's loud. I couldn't believe it. It didn't bother anybody else. The same night, I went, the clubs, all these clubs are gone now. But there was another club, the Embers. I caught Jonah Jones. This is all in the same night, and I managed to squeak into the Village Vanguard and caught Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross.
Wow, man.
My first night in Manhattan, and I was,
That's
you know,
it,
the lights at the set with Coltrane, they didn't finish till 2, 3 in the morning, something like that. So it was doable. Settled down into it eventually, and as I got to know people, and they started to hire me, and the the great thing is, I was in the middle of this music scene, and some of my idols were actually, I was playing with them, making music with them, recording or live. And it was 1973 that Gil Evans hired me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, yeah, because I mean, many people maybe not don't even know that, but you were like one of the first guys who really started to experiment with synthesizers and stuff like that, and I guess that's why Gil hired you, right? I mean, like, what's the story
No,
with Gil?
actually, uh, as I said, I started in New York doing studio work, mostly in French horn, but I had been fascinated by electronic music for quite a while, and synthesizers, and I got one of the first mini Moog synthesizers.
Oh man, amazing.
In fact, it's still. I don't think you can see it, but this is the Moog One, the latest monster. It's actually in back of that against the
Oh
wall.
wow,
It's
man, amazing.
1973. I don't use it very often. I could put it on eBay. They're going for a lot of money, but
Oh yeah.
forget it. You're going to bury me with that one. So, I got the mini Moog, and I was experimenting with it, and doing an occasional session with somebody, and somewhere in there, 73. I don't remember exactly when in there, but Gil Evans was doing a week at the Village Vanguard, and it would have been Tuesday through Sunday. So I'm in my apartment on Tuesday, just thinking about what I'm going to pull out of the refrigerator, and I got a call from a friend, Howard Johnson,
Oh man, yeah,
a
sure.
tuba player
Love Howard, yeah.
who had played with Gil for many years, and Howard said, "Pete, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, nothing." I said, "What? Can you make it over? You got your horn? Get over to the Vanguard. Gil's playing this week." So I was going to try to catch it later. No, get over here now. I said, "Okay." I took a taxi over to the Vanguard. I walked in. The band was already on stage, getting ready to play. It turned out the French horn player who was doing the gig had come in from New Jersey, and apparently he opened his case and he forgot his mouthpiece. And he said, "The hell with this. I didn't want to do this anyway. I'm going home." And he just went
Oh
home.
wow, man.
I'm going, "Really? Somebody quit?" I said, "Okay, I'm here." And I don't know if you know the club or not. It's not
Oh
a big
sure,
stage.
yeah.
It's
Man,
small stage. And
amazing
there,
place, yeah.
and there were like 14, 15 players on there. Everybody's sitting like this.
I can't imagine that, yeah. That's like,
Wow. And I mean, legendary, a bunch of players, guys that I'd met in the studios a little bit, but I'd never worked with any of them, and certainly not Gil. Gil welcomed me. I mean, I can't imagine a nicer person that I've ever known, or more encouraging, but they'd left a space on the bandstand, a small space for the French horn player who was coming in. They didn't know who it was going to be. It was me. The space was right in front of the drum kit. The drummer at the time was Lenny White. who's been my friend since then. We've worked together many, many times. But the chair was right under Lenny's ride cymbal, which is the one place on stage that nobody wanted to sit, so they left it for me. And that was me for a week. And we finished the week, and I said, Gil was very encouraging. I said, well, we're doing this. We got some other gigs. Then I think we're going to do Europe. He said, are you free?
Oh
I said,
man.
yeah, yeah, I'm free. Uh, and that was it. I was in the band for 16 years.
Wow.
Uh, but it was, I think a few months later, we played the Vanguard again for a week. And I had told Gil about the Mini Moog, and I brought it by his apartment to show it to him. He showed me just all the sounds it would make. He
Oh,
said, "Bring it to the gig." I said, "What am I going to do with it?" I mean, it's that band. What uh, there might have been 7 or 8 horn players, but they're all dominant soloists,
that's
great
like
soloists.
Sanborn, Billy Harper, and all those guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I, uh, uh, those early days, Howard, of course, Johnny Coles, Trevor Kohler, who died not long after that. Very, very unique baritone sax player. Uh, Great player, Billy Harper, of course. Uh, um, Jimmy Nepper. I think Joe Beck was playing guitar.
Oh wow.
Ted Dunbar
Ken
later
Dunbar,
was.
yeah, I have that Svengali
Uh,
record. Yeah, that's amazing.
it uh, Lenny White didn't do it for long after that. Bruce Ditmus
Sure, I
played
know Bruce.
for many years. There were varying percussionists, and me. So we'd play a song, we played ahead, and there'd be a soloist, and there was nothing for me to do. So I would just sit there, and there'd be like 5 or 6 guys would stand up and take long solos. Uh, uh, there's a basis for this. I'll come to that, but
Oh, please, please.
I didn't have anything to do, so I had the Mini Moog, so I would just make noises, or sometimes the band would improvise, backup riffs or choruses, and I'd do that with them, and it was a different sound. I invented some parts, and Gil kept telling me, "I like that. Do more of that. Do more of that." Uh, and eventually, uh, uh, some of the parts I was creating, or that Gil was asking me to do, I couldn't get back to my horn in time to play the ensemble choruses. So Gil told me to forget the horn. He hired John
Mm.
Clark
Yeah,
uh,
well, he's like,
as a
yeah.
horn player, and just left me there playing electric keyboards.
Wow. Okay.
And for the long list of things that I'm grateful for, which I've said several times in interviews, I've got 6 years of college and 3 degrees, 2 of them from Juilliard. Uh, I didn't learn a damn thing until I went to the Gil Evans School of Music, and everything changed for me.
Can
Uh,
imagine.
of how to, which is an exaggeration, but very, very true. And Gil was so great at uh, uh, bringing young players along
Yeah.
and just introducing them to the thing. And his way of running the band, uh, he wanted to see where the music could go. He'd done all the stuff with Miles, with Porgy and Bess, and Sketches of Spain, and all of that. He says, "Fine." He says, "I don't do that anymore. Let's see what else we can do." Uh, uh,
He's very open. Yeah.
And it's we do like summertime, from Porgy and Bess, we do the chart, and then 20 minutes later there was still soloists going on, and I'd be doing weenie weenies and barp barps on the synth. Uh, there were moments. One song. Oh God, I think memories come back to me when I'm talking to people. Like you got to stop me if I'm
No,
going
please.
too
That
far.
that's why
I,
I love these, man.
Stories.
Please just go on.
We played something, and Howard Johnson stood up and took a tuba solo, and then 4 or 5 other horn players got up and soloed, and then Howard had always had a trumpet with him, or a cornet, uh, and he stood up to take another solo on a different instrument. And the bass player at the time, a wonderful bass player, Herb Bushler.
Yeah.
I don't know how well known he was. An incredible bass player. He was mainly a studio guy. Did not like playing live very much, but he was Gil's bass player for a long time. Howard stood up to take the solo, and I turned on. I looked at the bass stopped. I turned around and looked at Herb. Herb had put his bass down and was just sitting here like this, scowling at Howard. Howard took a 5-minute solo. Herb wouldn't play a note until Howard sat down. He picked up the bass again.
Wow.
And I don't think Gil even noticed. He would be just hearing the textures, floating somewhere over us. And that's what that band was like.
It was so wide, right? Musically. I remember when I heard that Jimi Hendrix record you guys did. I was like, man, this is with Abercrombie on guitar. It's like, man.
There were what, 3 or 4 guitar players on there.
Yeah, I was just like a Abercrombie fan, so that's why I bought that one years ago.
Oh, sure, yeah, sure.
And like such a record, man.
Paul Metzke. Who else? I don't remember.
Yeah, but
I'm an old guy. I don't remember where I was last
Ryo
week.
Kawasaki. I mean, he played guitar, right? The Japanese player, Ryo Kawasaki. He played on that one.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if Rio on the Hendrix album.
I think he's on the Hendrix one as well. Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. But it's an interesting album. It was something that Gil inspired us to do, because most of the arrangements on the album were not Gil's. He encouraged some other people to write arrangements for the band, and then we put them together for that session. I don't know how accurate the story is, but I had heard that we were supposed to do an album with Jimi Hendrix.
Imagine that, man.
It was something that RCA was trying to put together, and Gil liked Jimmy, but what are we going to play? I don't think Gil thought much about it. He didn't plan. He wanted to see what was going to happen. 16 years with that band, there was never a set list.
Really?
Never.
Oh, wow.
Gil would just start playing something, and I got it. We'd pick it up, find the chart, and eventually we'd get into the arrangement.
Wow.
That's what he did. He just wanted to see what would happen. And probably going into the Hendrix project, he had no plan. What was he going to write? So he suggested to some other guy, Dave Horowitz, and Tom Malone did a couple of charts. I don't remember who. Again, I should look stuff. I should remember.
No, come on.
Remember more accurately. And as I've heard that Jimmy overdosed and died as this plan was coming to fruition, and somehow it was decided, some producer, well, let's do the album anyway.
Still do it,
without him. And there were a lot of guitar players. There were 3 or 4 of us in the room playing our instruments with a mini Moog on the side. It was a percussionist. I don't know if he's on the Jimmy album or not. Joe Gallivan. He was a percussionist, and he had a mini Moog, and he played on the keyboard with mallets because he didn't play any keyboards. He just punch up a sound, and he would play. What? It was just, and again, all this was okay with Gil. It was like, do it. And somehow, later years, when Hiram Bullock came into the band.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, with Mark Egan and Adam Nussbaum and all this. Live at Sweet Babel, the record. Yeah. That was beautiful. Yeah, and Mino Sinello, right, on percussion.
And Hiram used to say, "I don't know what I'm doing in this band, but Gil likes it. He likes it. I'm just going to do what I do." Or I remember him saying once, we were in Perugia, and we were getting ready to start. I said, "Well, it's a jazz festival. I guess I better play some jazz." That was Hiram. Gil loved him because I think Gil.
He was so unpredictable, right?
I think he heard Jimi Hendrix in there. Hiram didn't sound anything like Hendrix. That's not the point. It's the spirit of the way he played.
Yeah.
That's what Gil cared about. One piece we played in the Vanguard, and during one of those weeks, I was still playing horn. What is the name? Variations on the Misery, I think it's called. I think it's like a 9-bar piece. That's it. It's very slow, and it's all triads. It goes like a whole note, 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 tied to another whole note. That's it. Just keep doing it over and over again. And again, it's a triad, either minor or major, no altered chords. And the instructions on the music were pianissimo, to be played really quietly. It was a texture that Gil was after. And we played it. The idea was you play it a couple of times, or maybe more, because sometimes Gil would forget to cut us off. So it's okay. We just stopped. Somebody would stand up to solo, and there we are. Somebody was soloing, and Gil just walked over to the horn section. And said he wanted to, let's do that as a backup. I mean, he didn't explain. So let's play it. I mean, it was the soloist, whatever. Do what you do. We'll just play that. And so we're all getting ready as it comes around, and he looks at us. It was like up an octave, and we're okay. And that's it. We're all playing up an octave, and we're good, solid players. I mean, most of us were established studio players with a lot of chops. And there's a limit to what you can do. I mean, the lead trumpet part, it was almost all of it was above the staff. And guys were dropping notes, running out of breath. And Lou Soloff, I think was playing lead at the time. And Lou was like turned red and had to stop playing. And Gil just walked back over to the piano. He wanted tension. The wrong notes he didn't care about. The fact that the chart was not being played completely, he didn't care about it. It was the tension, the texture that he wanted, and he wanted pain. He got pain. Oh boy. That was like every gig, 16 years. No.
That's great, right? I mean, being a musician in such a group, because it's like you never know what's happening. That's why we play jazz, right? That's not.
It was like, also great about taking young musicians into the band who weren't that well known. Dave Sanborn, for instance, was early on. Eventually, Dave got huge, but Dave was playing with the band very early. Another sax player, wonderful sax player, Chris Hunter, was British. He had just gotten to New York, but Gil had been in England doing something, not with the band. It probably worked with the British band. And he had told Chris, "Listen, if you come to New York ever, give me a call." He did, and Gil said, "Monday nights, you're in the band." and he told us, this guy, I met this guy. Come in. He's going to play with us. I don't remember how he said. He did it really briefly. You gotta look at this guy. He can play. And we're, okay, and he can. But he's great. He's a great player. Discovered Delmar Brown. Hiram. I don't know what Hiram was doing, but he got into that. But there were so many young players like myself that he brought into the scene, let us do our thing, and just opened up the whole scene to him.
Yeah, of course. You get to meet musicians and people get to know you, right? It's Gil Evans, so that's so important. Yeah. Is that also how you got the Jimmy Jufrey gig? I mean, I'm such a huge fan of Jimmy. The Jim Hall, Brooke.
Jimmy was looking for an electric keyboard player.
Oh, well, specifically.
Didn't know anybody? Jimmy was living in Western Massachusetts, and there just weren't that many musicians there, and not a, I mean, there were musicians, but yeah, especially in those during those times, an electric keyboard specialist was unusual.
Yeah.
There were some of us doing it, and also I was traveling with my equipment also, which a lot of people weren't doing.
Yeah.
To Los Angeles to do sessions, film projects and so forth. And I was willing to take a mini Moog to Europe. My French horn in one hand, the mini Moog in
Shit.
the other
That's
hand, suitcase strapped to my shoulder. I was younger then, but Jimmy and Gil were friends, and Jimmy called Gil and said, "Listen, you know anybody who does that?" And he goes, "Yeah, call Pete Levin." So, and I got that, and I played with Jimmy for 8 years until he had to stop.
How was that like? I love the Dragonfly record, by the way.
Band. Yeah, Jimmy he was not as loose as Gil. I mean,
Yeah.
Jimmy was primarily a composer, a great composer. And I mean, he was handing me keyboard parts that were like 7, 8 pages long.
Oh, man.
And he wanted them read. No, play that. Don't make stuff up. Play that.
Wow.
And I had to find ways of doing it. I've been, as much as I can over the years, I try to go out to do live gigs with one keyboard. Because, unless it's Paul Simon with Annie Lennox, fine. Somebody else is going to schlep my stuff. Everything else, if it's a jazz gig, I'm schlepping it. Multiple keyboards, no. Jimmy, I couldn't do the gig with a single keyboard. There was too much complicated stuff going on, too complex sounds going on at the same time. I had to do that, then switch them, change sounds, keep going. It was a unique group, and I think way ahead of its time.
Absolutely, yeah.
I still listen to those records now. It's
amazing.
Wow.
I just listened to Dragonfly, the solo note one today, and I was like, man, it's. I mean, Jimmy was always like. I listened to Western Suite as well, like with Bob Brookmeyer and Jim Hall also today, and I was like, man, it's as modern as if you recorded it today. You know what I mean? It's like it's really.
It is, yeah. As I said, it was ahead of its time.
Yeah. So good.
The drummer, Randy Kay, who passed some years ago, a very unique,
beautiful player. Yeah.
Drummer. It's almost like he was doing textures and filling in. And Jimmy used to say, "It's great, don't it? You didn't want a straight ahead groove, so that we'll imply that." Or sometimes I had to do it because of what he'd written. But he used to say to himself, "Man, keep doing that. You invented that." I don't know if he invented it or not, but it's kind of the way Paul Modian used to play with Gil Evans.
Oh man,
a lot of space. The groove was there. You didn't have to slam it out.
The time. Yeah. I love that.
We did that with Jimmy too, and it was the touring experiences were great. We played all over the world, on boats, under tents, crazy places, because it was not big selling music that we were doing.
Yeah.
So we toured Europe. We played at a lot of festivals were being held in museums. With blue-haired old ladies sitting in front of us, and that's interesting. But we had a great time. I think I was going to say the last band, but maybe the only band I've ever belonged to for over a period of time, where first of all everybody drank, not to excess, but enjoyed beer mostly. And we loved hot food, Indian food.
Ooh.
That was it. Wherever we played a gig, go look for Indian food. We had a residence, I think, for 2 weeks in London once, which every block, the best Indian restaurant you ever ate in, and a pub. And we're mainly doing clinics and performances during the day. We get back to our hotel, that's it, hit the pub, uh, uh, and then the Indian restaurant. And this story could go on for 10 minutes. I should, but
No, no.
more related to music. There was one festival we played somewhere in Europe, I think. Uh, and we were there very early, and there was a lot of beer backstage, and we were celebrating. I mean, we weren't falling down drunk, but we were in a great mood. And we got on stage, uh, and there was one of the pieces we played. I was using an organ sound, and we got to grooving a little bit. And Randy went into a straight ahead thing, and Bob Niski, wonderful bass player.
Bass player, yeah.
Bob Niski was walking, and I was blowing, and Jimmy was floating over it. Afterwards, we got chewed out backstage, not for being drunk, but that straight ahead. He didn't want that. Don't do that.
Oh,
Do
man.
not do that. That's not what he wanted. Like, it's, it was just what it is. It was a different experience, a great experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
For me, learning from a master composer, but not just a composer, but as a band leader, he had a vision of where he wanted the music to go, and would hire players who would help take it there. That would go with him when he went there, and I was honored and privileged to be one of those, both with Gil and with Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. I mean, Jimmy was like a teacher, like and Gil too. And
Both masters, yeah.
I've been pretty lucky, but I'm glad Jimmy comes up. He wasn't as well known, obviously.
Oh man, I think he's one of the most underrated guys out there. Really.
I think so. I mean, it had a very distinctive sound and way of playing, which wasn't that popular. It wasn't. It wasn't Coltrane.
No, yeah.
It wasn't Sonny Rollins. It
was not cool jazz. It was like, yeah.
Taking a 10-minute solo. Jimmy didn't do that. He would, again, get texture out of his clarinet, because that's how we wanted to express the music that he was making. And
yeah, beautiful player. Yeah. How did that influence your band leading? I think the first record I bought by you as a band leader was "Party in the Basement," and I still love that record. I listened to it today, like that tune, "The Hunter," and where Mike Stern takes that crazy guitar solo afterwards, and like. How did that influence your band leading and like those Gramavision records? I mean, those are really strong, man. Like the bands are killing. Like, how did those happen?
They were there. That was a good opportunity for me. It was an odd situation in many ways. Gramavision was it was an art label.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that in a complimentary way, but it meant not going to sell a lot of records. Gee, that hasn't changed much.
Yeah, exactly. 40 years later, right?
But it's the owner and general manager, Jonathan Rose, and he financed the whole thing. He wanted to record and distribute music that normally would not get acknowledged or wouldn't get recorded. Some of the other artists, to Bobby Praveet.
Yeah, sure. And you were in the Scofield record, Electric Outlet as well, right? You played.
Yeah. He was the first one to latch on to Scofield.
Yeah.
And Sco did a couple of good recordings there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I'm on. It wasn't working for John, so John went over to a bigger label. Gramavision didn't. They had a lot of money because Jonathan was not in a bad way, but he was a multimillionaire, and this was his hobby, and his more than a hobby, it was his passion. His family, I don't know what it is, what the situation is now, but at the time they probably owned a good percentage of Manhattan. I mean, buildings, commercial buildings, residences, high rises. They were the biggest landlord in New York. Trump, not even close.
Wow.
But Trump was. No, this is a long time ago. Okay. Trump was doing it publicly. The Rose family did it very privately. They did not want to be known. They gave away a lot of money, supported causes, and Jonathan's personal cause
That's Gramavision. Yeah.
was Gramavision.
Amazing. Yeah, that's
Recording
fantastic.
people, that would otherwise not get to record. And I cast around. I was trying to get a record deal. I couldn't. Jonathan grabbed me. But it got me. I tried to talk to him about what do you want me to do? What do you want me to get into? And he was hoping that I was the one artist that he had signed who could make a radio record.
Okay.
And I mean, I was playing on recordings for pop artists. I know how to get on the radio that way, but jazz, I don't, I don't know. So we'll try. So that first, the party in the basement, that was my first real album with a record deal, and I did it with the band in the studio at the same
Oh wow.
time,
Okay.
which is great. And then I didn't do that again for a long time. The last one was just a few years ago, the Mobius.
Oh, that's a brilliant record with Lenny on drums, man. I love that record.
And that's complete. That I did up here, and it just handpicked. They had Lenny White, my
Yeah.
brother, Alex Foster, who's
Oh,
I've been loving working with. Alex has been in everything I've done,
yeah. Yeah.
like for years, and it would have been Lou Soloff, except we'd lost.
Oh man, I'm such a fan of Lou. He was,
Oh,
man, what a player.
don't get me started on food.
Him and
But Jonathan gave me the opportunity to do it. I went in with a 9-piece band, and I had a lot to learn about producing at that point. So I did it, and we did okay. It came out good. The
yeah.
stuff that I thought would work on the radio was, I don't think anybody played it, but we did a few live gigs, but unknown leader with a 9-piece band.
It's hard, yeah.
Who's going to pay for airfare for that? So that didn't last, and Gramavision didn't last. Eventually, there was a point, I believe, that Jonathan's family was pressuring him because maybe the older people couldn't hands-on run the business anymore, and Jonathan was spending too much time with his record label,
Sure.
so he had to go back full time with the company. So he sold the whole catalog. I forgot who it was. It was a larger company, and it just all ended up in the basement. So
Yeah, but those
there was
records, really, I love those records, really.
probably the most popular record I did for them at the time. I did. It was the party in the basement. Then I did a second one.
The Solitaire Man, right? Yeah,
Yeah, with
yeah,
Jeff Berlin
yeah.
and Cliff Allman. Got Ray Anderson in it. Oh, it was nice. And after that, I did a Christmas record, which was all synthesized. Jonathan didn't know what I was going to come up. It was all me and Danny Gottlieb playing live
Yeah, on
drums.
drums. Yeah, yeah,
That was it. And that did well. And also, it ended up in somebody's basement. I thought about it for a while, and it was years later. I look at it was a good album. I still listen to that. And I look back at my contract, and I realized that it had an expiration on it, that I was allowed to re-record it again. And the whole thing was computer driven and all my synths. So
Well,
I recorded it, I remixed it, got Danny to come in and play, released it myself, and that's done well. And now I don't even try to sell them anymore, but I give them out as Christmas cards,
yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
and that's the million seller in my basement,
Exactly.
or million CDs in my basement.
Exactly. Yeah.
But uh, it's my time at Gramavision was short, but it was interesting. Jonathan's a great guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
I
a good
visited.
cause, you know. If I mean, you know, jazz is always basically you make a record as a band leader, you lose money. It's like
He
more or
lived on a kind of, not an estate really. It was a beautiful country home up in Westchester County above Manhattan.
less.
And I went to visit him once, and he said, "Well, let's just take a walk." And we're walking down this very narrow country road, just chatting about stuff and talking about music. Uh, and we passed a house that had a real stone wall around it, a big house that was set back from the road. He says, "You see that?" Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it was a very wealthy community. He said, "You know who lives there?" I said, "No, Martha Stewart." Really? Oh, okay, that's interesting. He said, "You know what I think of Martha Stewart?" He picked up rocks. He started throwing rocks over the fence, and he couldn't even come close to the house. So there. Wow,
Oh
I gotta.
man.
So
Oh
yeah,
man. Amazing.
I've met a lot of great people over the years, and had uh, a lot of great stories and a lot of great times. And
I can imagine. Yeah. I wanted you mentioned your pop world before. How was the Paul Simon experience like? I mean, I know your brother played with Paul.
yeah. So
Like, did he kind of invite you to the band as well, or like how did the Paul story begin?
that was the tour Paul was doing. Uh, it was a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
And I played on some tracks. Uh, I think some are on the album, but there's some other things also that he was recording at the other times. Uh, and when they uh, uh, there was a film based on it. The film didn't do very well. I think they tried to turn it into a Broadway show, and that was well, that didn't last a minute. Uh, uh, yeah, the album it was a good album. There's some really nice stuff on there.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was not going to be a big deal, but then one song, one track, late in the evening, became a hit. It just out of nowhere, suddenly it was a hit, and the label came back to him, and probably Phil Ramone also had something to say. It was a producer
Yeah.
uh, that Paul, you got a hit record of it. You got a tour, and Paul did not want to tour. He very much liked to stay in Manhattan, not go anywhere. Just here's his stuff. There's my stuff. Here's my apartments. There's Central Park across the street. I don't want to go on the road. So he finally agreed to do it. Uh, 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 Maybe it was a rule that he laid down, but it was small venues. It was small for him at I think 2,500 max, something in that neighborhood. So we played theaters. We did
Hmm. Good.
no arenas, and the tour went on. You look for 6 months. I mean, we went to
Wow.
Europe. Like uh, it, there were a lot of strings and orchestrations on the album. There was a big horn section that he needed, so there was a horn section in the band.
That's the band with Howard, right? Johnson and
Yeah,
Howard Johnson played it. Yeah, and J.D.
Howard was
Perrin and those guys, right?
J.D.
Yeah,
Perrin,
yeah,
and
yeah.
George Young was the tenor soloist, and Ron Tui, I believe, lead trumpet player,
Hmm.
good trumpet player.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, but there were a lot of orchestrations, and it just wasn't feasible. You're playing small for Paul, small venues. Uh, to be carrying or picking up string sections, and meant rehearsals. It meant a lot.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, okay, we know Pete. Get Pete. He'll synthesize all that stuff. Uh, okay, so
That's
uh,
heavy.
I did some of it. I don't know if I'm sure I wasn't very loud in the house mix. I didn't care. It was a great time. For me, I mean, all those months on the road, uh, I'm up there in a corner. Steve Gadd's right next to me.
Oh man, yeah.
My brother's right on the other side of Steve. Uh, Eric Gale is sitting up in front. Wonderful, wonderful,
Yeah,
brilliant guitar. Very special
yeah, yeah.
guitar.
Amazing guitarist. Yeah, yeah. I
I,
know.
it was that whole genre that he was in that period that he was prominent in. It was like you get played just the right thing at just the right time. There was Eric, a masterful player. And for me, sitting right in front of me is Richard T.
Oh, he's
One
one
of
of,
my
yeah.
one of my keyboard idols. Uh, and I got to spend months on the road with him. Uh,
He was a genius, right?
oh yeah, brilliant player. He was
Yeah,
a
right. Yeah,
gospel.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Sure.
he was trained classical, and he'd been playing gospel in church, and got taken on by was it Atlantic or RCA, or I forgot where they hired him as a staff producer, uh, or staff musician, and he ended up producing, and and his impact just by his playing
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
is there on so many recordings, for so many people, and Paul discovered him, and Paul going into the studio with an idea. He'd have the whole band there. Usually not me. It was the rhythm, Steve, Gadd, and Tony, and Eric and Richard. He would always start with Richard, see what Richard's going to play. He'd go around the room, and Steve would come up with something, and eventually Tony would add a bass line, and go around the room again, uh, and it would turn into uh, something
Usually
late,
something
late
good.
in
Yeah,
the evening,
yeah.
uh, or Call Me Al, or whatever, and uh, and Phil Ramone was producing him, but also engineer. Phil, of course, is a legendary
Sure,
engineer.
of course. Yeah.
And it at one of those sessions, I was just sitting in the control room, waiting, and they're working it out. They were long sessions; it would go on all day. Uh, Phil's just sitting there at the board, chatting with me, and and I'm and I'm I think I commented something like, "Yeah, it's great the way it evolves in there," and Phil is like, "Yep, I'm just when they're ready, I'll record it." He makes the hits. He does. Paul works very slowly, uh, but what comes out at the other
Oh,
end is
man.
genius. Uh, it's interesting that uh, Tony right now is in England, doing working on something with Peter Gabriel,
Mm.
probably just a song. And Peter's the same way, works very slowly, meticulously. He tries things, has other guys in the band add to it, and you know when it comes out at the other end, it's wow.
Yeah, oh man, I'm such a Peter Gabriel fan. I mean, like,
Oh, sure.
oh man.
It's
Did you ever meet Peter, by the way, through Tony or?
I have backstage
Okay,
at concerts. I've never played with him.
okay.
Uh, it's a if they come through town, I'm there and I get
Of
to go
course, yeah,
backstage.
sure.
Sometimes Peter does a runner and gets out, but a few times I've got to chat with him. He's a great guy.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, yeah. I love his playing. Yeah.
And also a genius. But some artists create that way, just very slowly. They work it out. And I don't know if it should cross to jazz, but Gil Evans was in some ways the same. Took him a long time to do an arrangement, and we kept changing it. Like, we were the band all the time. I was with the band. We were still playing pieces from the Porgy and Bess album.
Oh wow, really?
Uh, uh, Summertime, what always happens, usually a guitar feature, just soloing. Uh, uh, there's a piece called
Mm-hmm.
Gone,
Yeah.
uh, which is interesting. It has very little exposure in the actual musical. Uh, and when they first recorded it for Miles Davis, they were doing the paperwork, which meant dealing with Gershwin's publisher. and the, okay, here's the list of songs so they could feed him into thinking, what's this thing gone? What is that? Well, it's from the show, and it turns out it's something. Excuse me. I think the chorus sings it very soft, quietly as they're walking off the stage. It's not a big deal. It wasn't a hit, and the lawyers are going, no, Gershwin didn't write that. It's not in the show. Yeah, Gil's saying, yeah, it's in the show. It's not. So what next? So I think Gil copyrighted it, which is somebody may have picked up on it at some point. They will, but
Amazing. Yeah.
but the original chart, Gil did 3 versions of it. One is very slow, kind of like the way it was done in the show, and then he did this up-tempo version of it. And he kept tweaking the arrangement. He would change. We'd come back a few months later and a new set of parts. He changed some stuff, and at one point he decided, oh, there's a short intro before the song gets played. 10, 12 bars maybe, or something like that. It's high energy. And he announced, okay, we're going to play that, and we stop, and Pete's taking a solo on Moog. I am? And that was it. And he sat down and he started playing it. And I said, okay, and that was my assignment for the next 10 years or whatever. And I didn't even want the solo. Could we wait till it gets into something? But I had to do it. If I didn't, everybody would just turn around and be looking at me like, what's happening? Okay.
Amazing. Yeah, but that's why he's still one of the greatest arrangers and composers ever. I mean, it's like,
yeah, but he was always tweaking his stuff. He was never satisfied.
Yeah,
with it.
Interesting.
I said, man, if I do this, what could happen? There's it's the basis of the whole arrangement for summertime.
Yeah. Yep.
One.
Yep.
That goes on. And once he came in, yes, the whole horn section plays that. Maybe the guitar's playing the melody, or nobody will play the melody. And he said, started like an eighth note early. I don't know when I work. We're like, what? 3, 4, 1.
Oh shit, man, that's
Anyway, and he sat down and started playing the piano. And okay, he just wanted to hear what that was like, and I'm like, okay, we did it. I don't know how well we did it, or if anybody noticed or cared. I don't know, but it was.
That's amazing. Then you see how creative it was.
How many hours do we have here today? I have Gil Evans stories that would go on.
Oh man, I love these. I love these. That's fantastic. It's just like, yeah. Did you ever cross paths with because you were on the same scene like all these guys with Jocko, by the way, like in New York?
Yep.
You did?
Oh yeah, I played with Jocko in his band.
With the big band tour? No.
Yeah, it was a smaller version. I wish I'd known him early enough to get on that first album he did. Was it from Warner?
Yeah. Oh,
I used to listen to that in the car. We played a lot of small gigs around New York.
Really? Oh wow.
Just in clubs and bars, pick up things in the village or whatever. Sometimes Jocko wasn't on the gig, but he'd show up and play anyway. And Gil was fascinated with his playing and put him in the band for a while, which was always an experience. Sometimes it was okay. There was a period, I don't remember why, but because we'd been playing Monday nights at Sweet Basil for years. I don't know what changed, but we moved down the street to 7th Avenue South, which was upstairs at the Brecker Brothers.
The Brecker Brothers place, yeah.
I think I never got to ask Randy or Mike, but I think they probably regretted getting into the nightclub business at some point. but anyway, we played there, and like uh, oh man,
Jacko?
no, oh, I'm having a senior moment. But Daryl Jones was playing bass with us that night. Uh, there was maybe 10 horn players, and me with like Mo and Gil. Uh, Daryl's one wonderful player.
Oh man, oh, absolutely.
But he's out anchoring the Rolling Stones. It was great. He's a good jazz player.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And maybe nobody told Jocko that he wasn't on the gig that night. So he can't get plugged in. He was playing anyway. And Daryl was trying to be cool, but he was like looking daggers at you because Jocko, plays whatever he wants. And was doing it really loud. And some plaster came down from the ceiling on top of the band. Neighbors complained. The police came because Jocko was so insanely loud, and it wasn't a big club. It was one night. It was a fun night.
Right.
There was I have a lot of horror stories about Jocko. Everybody does.
I can imagine. Yeah, sure.
Several years ago, because I mean he was mentally unstable. He was bipolar.
Yeah.
So I mean he couldn't help what he was doing. But he had this insane energy, so that people didn't see it as that. They thought he was drunk. I never saw him drunk. I never saw him doing any kind of drug, or maybe he did, but I never saw it. And I was with him a lot. We took him to Japan once, and I remember Hiram trying to tell Gil it's not a good idea. Hiram's very smart, very very smart. I said, listen, this is not a good idea. You don't want to. And it wasn't. It didn't go well. But there was a point several years ago, and I started telling people, we should stop telling the bad stories about Jocko. It's enough of them.
Yeah.
He was one of a kind. It was like a comet that passed over us. Had an influence and disappeared just as quickly. And my brother wrote a book several years ago. I can't remember the title, but being a bass player, and all his experiences in playing the bass. Had photos in it, but a lot of stories. It wasn't a bass method book, not how to play the bass, how to be a bass player, based on Tony's take on.
Oh, I have to find it, man. Shit, I love reading this. I have to find it.
Tony comes up with things like that, and he came to me once because he knew that I knew Jocko pretty well. He said he thought that he should include a Jocko story of some kind, but he didn't have any because he'd only met him once, and it was not a comfortable situation. He was recording for somebody else, and he didn't talk to Jocko or anything. So he asked me if I had one, and I gave him my favorite Jocko story.
Oh, please, come on.
Which is I was living for many years. Excuse me. My apartment was on 3rd Avenue in Manhattan, near Gramercy Park. And it was a friend of mine who was a Broadway actress and singer and comedian, Marilyn Sokol, also lived in my building. We used to hang out a lot. Our favorite watering hole was a couple of blocks over the Gramercy Park Hotel, which was very old school, small hotel. And interestingly enough, there were several musicians that I knew over the years were living there on an extended basis for various reasons. Paul Schaefer lived there for a while.
Really? Oh, well.
And Jocko was living in the hotel with his, I think, with his family or some parts of his family. The bar at the hotel was very old school, very quiet, very dim lighting. Bartenders in vests and bow ties. To make very special martinis. It was a very dignified place to go, and nice place to go with somebody and talk quietly. So Marilyn and I used to go over there. We'd sit at the bar and just chat and chat with the bartender, chat with other people that would come in. And I knew Jocko was upstairs, and I called him, and I said, "Why don't you come down and join us? We're just sitting at the bar, just hanging out." And he said, "Okay, I'll come down." I said, "Jocko, that's no, we're being cool. We're being quiet. You know the place." "Yeah, I know." He put on a tie. It was a green tie, but it was the only one he had. But he got dressed up to come down to the bar, and he was sitting. And the three of us sat and chatted about stuff. Just whatever, just hanging out. Okay. There was an adjoining room. It was part of it. It was just seating, no bar. There was a woman in there sitting and playing piano and singing. It was okay, but it wasn't loud, and it was in the next room. You're a musician. You can't you can't tune out background
You can't
music.
help it. Yeah, sure.
You can't. It's there. It's always finding its way
It's terrible.
I mean, it just is. Like you're talking to somebody and they say, "Oh man, that's a wrong chord." No,
Exactly.
never mind. So, anyway, Scal's point. She was okay. She's nothing special. Uh, uh, it was. It got to be funny. We couldn't ignore it, and the three of us were like quietly said, "Oh, we can't do that." So finally, she took a break. Uh, and Marilyn pokes me. We got to fix this. So Marilyn and I went over to the piano. She grabbed the mic. She started calling Broadway songs. She's singing them. She was a good singer. Uh, she'd done several high-profile things on Broadway. And I was playing the piano. Jocko ran upstairs, got a bass,
Oh man.
came back down, plugged into the PA, so it was a small PA system, and was just playing unassuming, straight bass. Didn't take any solos in his green tie. Uh, and the woman came back after her break and said, "Can I come back?" And Marilyn, "No, go sit down. We're doing this." And we went on and on. And finally, she got bored and she left. Uh, and we just kept doing standards and the American Songbook and Broadway songs. And the world's greatest bass player was just there with a green tie, just
Yeah.
a really simple two-beat swing. Uh, and we made some money in the tip jar. Yeah, that was it. That's my favorite Jocko story.
Yeah, come on.
It was great.
He was
He
so
was
good.
when he was a great musician. When he was cool, when he was level, he was great. He was a great guy.
I,
And
I played a lot with Paul McCandless. You know Paul, right?
I guess not well, but
We toured quite
close.
some like 10 years ago, and he played with Jocko so much, and he said like when Jocko was like in a good night that it was just like it was
Yeah,
incredible. Like the
yeah,
entire band
yeah,
was playing just like man, but obviously, of course, he had bad nights. But like when he was like really good, it was just like best ever. That's it, period. And it's true, if you listen to some bootlegs or something like that, it's just like, man, oof,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing, amazing. Yeah.
amazing you got to play with him. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. So beautiful.
I mean, it
Cool.
happens in terms of the music community. In some ways, it's like a small town. Well, it's changed now, but it's certainly through the '70s and '80s.
80s, yeah, I can believe so.
Definitely, was the recording scene was thriving during the '70s, uh, uh, especially when I got into doing electric keyboards a lot. I was doing one or two sessions a day,
Wow,
every day.
the
Uh,
jingles and stuff, right?
and some, yeah,
Yeah,
some of them very short. There'd be uh, record dates which would go longer, film dates when it were being some things were being recorded in New York. Album projects. I had you just this is just tip of the iceberg, but I'm mostly computer based now. But I had,
Of course, yeah.
you know, 6-foot racks of modules at the time. They were all in my apartment, and that was my work studio. Uh, and pop artists would come to my place with the producer. We'd work out the songs, play in some parts. Sometimes it's all stored in my computer. Then I call my cartage guys. They'd haul all my stuff over to a studio somewhere in Midtown, and we'd live there for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, 14-hour days. And
Man.
at the time, Lenny White was producing a lot of R&B albums, unusual ones, great stuff. So I got to do a lot of that. And met some
Fantastic.
great people, and but that's what I was doing, and you know, squeaking in jingles, which were 20-minute sessions, maybe 40 minutes, because that's it. Rhythm section goes in, gets sounds. Got to do a 30-second, a 60-second version. Then you guys got to get out because the horns are coming in. That's it. They got to reset the mics. That was it. It went on for 3 years. Everybody was working, and relating that to my first Gil Evans story. Broadway was really thriving also.
Oh yeah, that also, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And the horn player, and mercifully, I'm not hiding it, but the horn player who forgot his mouthpiece, I'm not sure I knew his name at the time. I don't remember. I never tried to find out because it would be embarrassing. But he was subbing in Broadway shows a lot. Or maybe was doing a show and maybe he subbed it out to do the jazz gig. He was working, and it's, I don't need this. I could be back on the train at 10 o'clock, and home by 11:15.
Yeah.
So everybody was working, and the whole music business was thriving, and
Yeah.
records were being produced, labels were spending money. The studios, they're all gone now.
Oh man. Yeah.
Freelance session work. Young people occasionally ask me, how do I get into that? I have no idea.
And it's gone also anyway. I mean, it's not to the extent that you guys did. I mean, like I remember I talked to Randy Brecker and he said like him and Mike were just like you doing constant stuff because
Yeah,
now you just put on an AI app and it's like, yeah, make me a, like,
that's the last blow to it.
yeah, no. So it's amazing you got to catch that train. I mean, that's beautiful, right? Yeah.
Well, for individual players, for a lot of it, you've got to be in the moment. It's hard for AI to. There's something. Maybe they'll get there someday, but AI needs a set of instructions, and
Yeah.
they make a plan and they spit out the answer, which could be compose a song, make a video, whatever. The playing or like the way Mike Brecker used to say he was overexposed because so many people were. It's like give him $2,000 or something, he'll take a solo on your track, and Dave Sanborn was the same way. He was
Yeah.
starting to maybe I'm being overexposed here, and he wasn't sure what to do because he had a very unique sound.
Absolutely.
And so maybe I should be saving it for my own stuff, but he wasn't sure. But just the idea of a player like that, being asked to solo, you come in, you listen, you react, and even what they plan to do, when they actually do it and they get a take, it won't be what they planned on doing.
Hmm.
It was something that inspired them on the spur of the moment, and I don't see AI catching up with that.
No, yeah, it's just like for jingles and
Yeah.
I think commercial companies,
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
using this stuff. So
the scare, but where they're really coming in is you can give it a set of circumstances
Yeah.
and criteria, and length, and tell it, okay, write a song, and it spits out a set of lyrics, and some of them are good.
yeah, absolutely.
There are songs being written that way and being produced.
That's a whole other issue, like why pop is where it is now, or you know,
So
these,
it's,
so it's, yeah,
where's it going? I don't know.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I, it's not going to replace the Levin brothers. We still got that. Or the crazy gigs that I do a lot of local gigs, uh, which I enjoy. They're Woodstock players and singers. Uh, you won't know any of their names. Some of them better than others. All of them play with a lot of spirit and they're having a lot of fun.
Mm, that's
We
important.
play,
Yeah.
we play in bars or restaurants or something. I never ask what the money is. I may get paid or not. Uh, I just ask, are they feeding us or should I order dinner? No, I just want to know. How should I order my dinner? Uh, they almost always feed the bands. It's great. I'll have a good time and I'm home in 15 minutes. Uh,
Beautiful. Yeah.
I, I had one a couple of weeks ago. I played a relatively early gig in Woodstock, and I was able to, when it was done, hustle my stuff out into my car, go through a large uh, municipal parking area. To the other end of the parking lot was another club, and I got in there just in time to set up and do a sound check for the band I was playing with that night. It took me 4 minutes to get from one gig to the other. So like
That's
Woodstock,
amazing, man. Beautiful.
it's really loose. Uh, on that
Oh,
gig, the singer decided not to come. They're like, so, no, I'm not going to do that. So, all right, we played without her. It's, I don't know. It's relaxed. It's Woodstock. It's hard for me to get into that zone, because I've got decades of
oh, so-
uh, you have to doing it right, doing the right thing, uh, is this recording session. It's not about me. It's about whoever I'm accompanying, whoever I'm playing for.
yeah,
Uh, and by the way, if I'm not a half an hour early, I'm late. Like, and for the uh, that's it. Tony's the same way. We're ridiculously early for everything, and we'll be the first members of the band to
but
show
that's
up.
nice. Yeah, I'm the
It's
same.
okay.
I'm
I
the
have
same.
it.
Yeah.
And Woodstock is just it's laid back, it's relaxed.
Oh, I love that
Uh,
area, man. Such a beautiful area.
which the news this morning, by the way, is everybody down. My neighbor right down the street, Jack Deschanette, just passed away.
I know. I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's right down the road from me. So,
Shit. Yeah, he was
just
one of the greats. Yeah.
yeah,
Ever.
that's a great guy too. And,
Oh, that's such a piano player. Speaking of piano
yeah,
players, I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, jealous.
monster. Yeah. Cool. Pete, I'll leave you a nice. What you guys have? What, an afternoon now there? So,
Yes, it is. Oh,
yeah.
something I want to add.
Oh,
It's part of my ongoing Gil Evans story, and I should have sent you this ahead of time. I got a few things to send you, the clams,
oh,
uh,
please. Yeah, I would love to.
but it was uh, also about 10 years ago. Uh, I was missing the Gil Evans situation, the band, and I would talk to players all the time, guys who were in the band in the '70s, my friends, people that are still my friends, guys I still end up on sessions with, do gigs with, uh, guys who were there while Gil was alive and leading us. And I'd say, you know what, we should do this. I mean, I'll track down Miles. I'll see if I can get some of the charts. Uh, put an 11-piece band together. I booked a night in a big club in New York, a cutting room. Uh, I was not able to get the music, so I wrote charts for
Mm,
memory based on
wow. Yeah.
pieces we played a lot, the easy ones, Little Wing,
Yeah.
uh, Stone Free, things I could work out. Uh, no pretense of having them be Gil's writing, but this is the music we played. Everybody in the band remembered it, and it was Danny Gottlieb, his wife Beth playing percussion, uh, Mark Egan playing
Mm, yeah.
bass, Dave Stryker playing guitar, Dave Barjon, Dave Taylor, Tom Malone, uh, Lou Soloff was doing that was before he passed. Uh, Alex Foster, Chris Hunter, John Clark,
Mm,
and we uh, my way of doing it was I set the piano up behind the band, the way Gil used to do. The only thing I did was I did a set list to avoid confusion. And I would just start playing a tune, and the band would pick it up. Solos weren't assigned. We just played. We got a full house for it, and it was a big club. And I brought a friend down, a recording engineer from Woodstock. Excuse me, a good engineer, Robert Fraza. He brought in his own set of mics. He brought a crew with him, a digital recorder, and I just recorded it, mixed it, mastered it. It was just released last year on Dot Time.
Oh man, I didn't know that. I have to find it.
Titled Gil Evans Remembered.
Oh shit, I have to find that.
Tell me where you are, and I'll send it to you. And the release coincided with last year, last summer, July. Got the band together, unfortunately without Lou, but I was able to get Alex Sipiagin, who's a
Oh, he's a beautiful player. Yeah.
and he did work in Gil's band. Right after Gil passed, but Miles Evans used him a lot. So Alex knew the routine. I got my agent on the case, and we did the Lugano Jazz Festival, and we did the Umbria Jazz Festival in
Really?
Perugia
Oh man.
with that band, just like that. And it was interesting because it's hard to get those gigs for a jazz band now.
Oh shit, yeah.
They're not
11 piece,
jazz festivals anymore. They haven't been in a long time. But our Carlo at Perugia, at Umbria, he remembered the band. He had hired us. He had hired Gil 50 years previously to come, and we played Perugia. It was my first time in Italy. The first time that band went to Europe.
Europe, yeah.
And Carla brought us back, and we played Perugia a year ago, July 24th. I manufactured the record in time to sell there, and now I got 1 million of them in my basement. But it's okay. Came out really, was well recorded. I believe might be one of the last live recordings that Lou Soloff did, because he had a heart attack shortly after that.
Yeah.
And it was gone. And Dave Bargeron, who I've known since
Also,
1960.
yeah.
Brilliant player. Davis passed.
Yeah, just Lou. I mean, since you mentioned Lou, man, wow, what a player.
We're very close to.
Yeah, one of the most unique trumpet players of the 80s, 90s.
Our food searchers. That's another interview.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I just love food. You know, like when we're on the road, it's just, for me, it's like looking for the craft beer place and, you know, the food places. It's just like, I mean, that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, there's the Michelin guide.
Yeah, exactly. But Pete, if you're ever still gonna make it to Europe, drop me a line, please. You're kindly invited here. Like we have a guest room here. We live in a wine region, so if you ever make it, let me know, please.
I hope so. The agent is calling around again, looking at festivals. Earlier, I'm trying to get booked into the Vanguard, which would be really special for me, because that's the first gig I did with Gil, and the Vanguard books a band 6 nights at a time. But they book 2 years in advance. So
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
they're booking 27 already. So we got to hope somebody cancels. But we're looking at festivals in Canada and, of course, Europe, North Sea and Umbria and fingers. Let's see. I'll send it to you.
Please, yeah, I would be happy. Or
Wonderful,
else,
and it is by design very much the way Gil's band sounded and functioned in the 70s, which was special to me because there weren't that many of us left, functioning in above ground, who played with Gil in the 70s. And
exactly, yeah.
We lost so many friends from that period. So, gosh, let's do this now while we can. We did.
Yeah. But that's why thank you so much for sharing some of these stories, man. I appreciate it so much. I'm like a kid in a sandbox always when I hear to you guys. I'm like, ah.
But me too. I love telling these stories.
Oh yeah.
But thank you very much for doing this, Samo.
Thank you too, and stay strong, Pete. And if, like I said, if you're going to be around in Europe, please get in touch.
I hope so. I hope next summer
Yeah.
I hope so. I've spoken to everybody in the band. I say, yeah, we'd like to do it. A couple of guys have small conflicts, but so they'll sub them out. So we'll do it. Everybody's available. We just need to get the gigs. So,
Fantastic.
which is not easy because it's an expensive band to travel with.
Yeah.
Starting with a dozen transatlantic plane fares.
That's the first, yeah.
Already we're way in the red. So but we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully
That's cool.
I'll see you there.
Thanks so much. Stay strong, Pete. Bye. Ciao.